Hi everyone, it has been a hot second since I made a video update for you all, so here is some of what I've been up to over the past few months. Firstly, in March, CJU made a submission to the Community Disaster Resilience Strategy, which is a series of state government initiatives and programs to increase WA's capacity to prepare for, recover from, and respond to disasters and extreme weather events. We tried to make the process of crafting the submission as participatory as possible. We had a couple of deep dive one-on-ones with members, and then we held a briefing that was open to all members who wanted to come and share their ideas and have input into the final submission. If you want to read that submission, you can find it in the description. Then throughout April and May, we were working with some other CJU members on an event for the Climate and Health Community of Practice. So the Climate and Health Community of Practice is a network of people working in the health sector, the community sector, and government, and it's co-hosted by the Department of Health and the Department of Water and Environmental Regulation. And it's essentially a space for people who work in those sectors to come together, build relationships, increase their understanding of the interconnections between climate and health, and apply that knowledge into their own work and their own practice. So this event was called Living in Times of Impact, Lessons Learned from the Front Lines. And it was all about the compounding and cascading impacts of climate that we're experiencing, and focusing on what we can learn from people on the front lines, the communities who are most affected. Community of Practice events are also an opportunity for people to hear updates from various state government departments or processes. So this time we heard from the Sustainable Development Unit, which is within the Department of Health, and we also heard some updates about the state climate policy. If any of you watching are working in these sectors and you'd like to join the Community of Practice, feel free to email me. Then in June, CJU made another submission to a policy process. This time it's a national policy consultation being run by the National Resilience and Recovery Agency. The National Recovery and Resilience Agency was set up after the Royal Commission into National Natural Disaster Arrangements. And this consultation was around developing the second National Action Plan for Disaster Risk Reduction. So the second National Action Plan is all about forward thinking and innovative strategies to reduce disaster risk across the continent. And it's building on the first National Action Plan, which was more about consolidating the strategies and processes that already exist. So for CJU submission, we actually included a lot of the feedback and input you gave around the Community Disaster Resilience Strategy previously, so that was really useful. Thank you so much. Currently, the agency is synthesizing all of the feedback that they've gotten from the consultation and from the submissions, and they're essentially writing up that second National Action Plan. If you want to read our submission that we put in, it's in the description. And finally, over the past few weeks, we've been working with fellow CJU members and partners to review and evaluate our work so far. We've been looking at how we can collectively be more effective and how we can better support people in the health sector with their advocacy and their organizing. And we've also begun collaborating with clinicians to develop a campaign that will target the relationship between fossil fuel companies and health programs. This is a really timely conversation, and there's a bunch of stuff already happening around this in the space. So we're really excited to figure out how we can best bring our capacity for this campaign. If you'd like to know more about any of the things that I've talked about in this video, I've actually written a longer blog post that goes into more detail. I'll link it in the comments below. If you'd like to have a chat with me, or you'd like to be more involved or collaborate on any of this stuff, please reach out, and I'd love to work with you. And finally, I want to end this video with a question. I'd love to know, what information do you need to be able to access so that you can look after yourself and those around you when you're dealing with the health impacts of climate change? Do you need more information about what the interconnection between climate change and your health are? Do you need to know what kind of scenario planning your local council has done if there's a heat wave? Do you just need to know more about how the emergency services and health systems work? Or maybe you need some support on building social connection and community resilience in your neighborhood. This is really important because a big part of our work together is really trying to identify where the gaps in these systems and processes are, and how to fill those gaps in the most just and equitable way. So please leave your comments and thoughts below. It's been really, really great to talk to you. I hope you all stay safe and well, and I will update you again soon.